Welcome Maurice, and welcome to another comparison. Here we have the Seiko SSK 003 and the Rolex GMT Master 2 126710 BL&R, otherwise known as the Batgirl. Now these are two different watches from two notorious watchmakers, two different parts of the world, yet two very similar timepieces. Both of these watches share similar elements. They have bicolor bezel inserts, Cyclops lenses, a GMT function, and Jubilee style bracelets. They also take influence from their dive watch cousin. The GMT Master 2 takes its case design from the Submariner, and the SSK 003 from the SKX 007. Here are the dimensions and specs. The Seiko SSK 003 has a case diameter of 42.5mm, a lug width of 22mm, lug to lug of 46mm, 41 hours of power reserve from the caliber 4R34, and a water resistance of 100 meters with a push-pull crown. The GMT Master 2 has a case diameter of 40mm, a lug width of 20mm, lug to lug of 48mm, 70 hours of power reserve from the caliber 3285, and 100 meters of water resistance with a screw down crown. The Seiko has a Hardlex crystal and a thickness of 13.6mm versus a sapphire crystal and thickness of 12.2mm on the Batgirl. Looking at the dials, you will notice quite a bit of difference between the two. The SSK 003 sports a dark sunburst blue dial with an applied logo, whereas the GMT Master 2 has a printed logo on a glossy black backdrop. The SSK 003 also adds a touch of extra color thanks to the red GMT lettering matching that of the red GMT hand, contrasting the simple white text found on the Batgirl. The indices share similar shapes, however, there are some subtle differences. Like the Batgirl, the Seiko GMT possesses circle hour markers between the quarter hour indicators, but it's at these quarter hours where they differ. The SSK 003 continues that circular design with soft, curved quarter hour markers with thin protruding tips, while the Rolex GMT breaks up the circle pattern with sharp, blocky edges. The minute track on the SSK 003 provides an added utility and frames the dial to give an added depth. On the other hand, the GMT Master 2 emphasizes a classic, clean and minimalistic design with its simple minute track. The handset on both watches are familiar and work well to guide the eyes along the dial. However, the construction of the GMT hands contrast each other. The SSK 003 has a broad red GMT hand, making it extremely legible and noticeable from a distance, whereas the Batgirl's blue GMT hand is slender, sometimes fading away into the black dial. In terms of function, the Seiko GMT is far more legible. However, it can appear cluttered at times, which the Batgirl alleviates by having that smaller, sleek hand. The Batgirl makes up for a smaller GMT hand by having a larger magnification on its Cyclops lens, and it's very noticeable. But it also means that the Cyclops lens on the Batgirl does protrude more from the crystal. Moving to the bezel, the Seiko GMT strays from the more traditional ceramic found on the Rolex GMT by using a Hardlex insert. They both share bicolors of black and blue, but the way they react to light is very different. The SSK 003's bezel has a metallic sheen and is much more subtle, appearing dark blue and black in most situations, with the blue coming to life under sunlight or direct light. The Batgirl, on the other hand, does an excellent job at maintaining color throughout all types of lighting, changing hues and vibrancy depending on the intensity of the light source. Both bezels also have these silvery finished numerals that shimmer, providing an added level of character and intrigue, but it's further elevated on the Batgirl with its recessed digits and dots. Both bezels are easy to grip and operate. However, the feedback is vastly different on both timepieces. The action on the Seiko, it feels unfamiliar. No click or stop. It just glides smoothly. It's a simple friction fit, which it does help with Seiko's known misalignment issues, but it does leave something to be desired. The action on the GMT Master 2 is crisp and sharp, locking into place nicely with little play. It has a muted sound and a much more satisfying feeling compared to the Seiko GMT. Looking at the cases, many collectors will be well acquainted with their construction and design. As they both take influence from their popular dive watch cousin, their inherent designs make them appealing to many enthusiasts. The GMT Master 2 bears slab sides with sharp transitioning edges, whereas the SSK 003 displays curved contours which flow smoothly through each element. Now both of these watches feature brushing on the top sides with polished flanks and polished crown guards. Now, perhaps one of the biggest differences about their structure is the positioning of the crown. The SSK 003 has the iconic Seiko crown at 4 with slim, sloping guards. And the BLNR has its crown at 3, protected by thicker, broad crown guards. Now, as a whole, the Seiko has a softer appearance with its rounded lines compared to the sharp and blocky appearance on the GMT Master 2. So in comparison, the Rolex GMT Master 2 does have that more aggressive, masculine appearance. The bracelets on these watches are very similar. The Jubilee on the Rolex is extremely hard to beat and is often the standard in the watch industry. Its links are shorter than that on the Seiko GMT and has a more pronounced curve, which plays a big part in how each link interacts with light, casting more shadows to emphasize their shape. The outer links on the Seiko are much wider than the smaller center links, similar to that on the Batgirl. However, the size ratio on the Rolex Jubilee gives it a more balanced look. When we get to the clasp on these watches, the difference in their construction becomes increasingly evident. The Seiko features a stamped fold over double button clasp with 4 points of micro adjustment, while the GMT Master 2 features Rolex's Oyster Lock clasp with 3 points of micro adjustment hidden in the buckle and an easy link extension. Now the clasp on the Batgirl is substantially better built and just overall looks better. However, the price difference is also quite substantial. The biggest difference in my eyes is the way the bracelets transition from case to end link. Now both watches have solid end links, with the Seiko utilizing female integration compared to the Rolex's male end links. However, the way Rolex constructed the Jubilee end link creates a seamless blend into the case. When put side by side, the bracelet on the Seiko GMT looks like it was slapped on. Now it's not a bad bracelet compared to other bracelets that Seiko have produced. This is quite good, but the GMT Master 2 has a bracelet that just looks and feels like it's at home, like it belongs on the watch. On wrist, they both wear comfortably, but they each have their own strengths and weaknesses. The SSK 003's curved case and crown at 4 allows the wrist to follow the contours when bending, giving a much more natural feel, contrasting the experience with the Batgirl, where the slab-sided case and protruding crown introduces sharp sides which can dig into your wrist from time to time. The GMT Master 2 does, however, offer a better bracelet experience with the more comfortable Jubilee, slimmer width and aggressive taper. It also feels much more balanced, as if the weight of the watch head and bracelet were evenly spread. The Seiko GMT, on the other hand, does feel top heavy at times, which is emphasized by its thickness and lightweight stamped clasp. Both watches offer workhorse movements, but you will get a far greater caliber from Rolex. It's far more accurate and provides a much smoother sweep. But these are things you would expect at that price point. Setting the time and GMT hand on both watches is simple, but they differ slightly in operation. The GMT hand on the SSK 003 moves independently when pulled out one notch, whereas the Batgirl's hour hand moves independently when pulled out one notch. Both watches are from iconic houses and have become icons themselves. They serve their purpose well as GMT watches and are great contenders for a one-watch collection. I feel the Seiko SSK 003 is a great affordable option if you're specifically looking for the Batman or Batgirl look. It's a solid watch and it gives you a similar appearance at a far cheaper price point, and it's easily accessible, which is a point of contention when looking into the GMT Master 2 line from Rolex. Guys, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more watch content. I'll see you in the next one.